it's all built on a false foundation of fear and concern.
That's good. False foundation of fear. Yeah.
Is that going to be an episode? False foundation. Am I a copywriter?
That was a little thought leadership there.
That
Michael.
was.
So if you have a foundation built on fear, you really have to protect it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is so shaky.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
in fact, what you
built on
build on that,
illusion.
what you build on that foundation of fear is meant to keep your thoughts and stuff in and keep everybody else out. It seems like to me.
Leave your limiting beliefs at the door. It's time for Carl and Mike.
Go.
Welcome. Trying out my new welcomes. Welcome to Carl and Mike. I'm Carl.
Are you doing a new one?
I tried.
Hey.
Hey, you.
Welcome.
We are here at the Corner Bakery Cafe on a kind of gray summer day
It is kind of weird.
in Dallas, Texas. I just got off my little Facebook conversation with my one. Is it my one? Do I have more? I have friends that are. I have lots of friends that are conservative. This is kind of. I won't call it Christian conservative because it's Catholic, Orthodox Catholic.
Orthodox Catholic?
Kind
Is
of.
that what he is?
I think so.
Now,
Hence
what does
gay
that?
marriage
What does
thing.
that mean? Is that kind of like Orthodox?
That means really
Jews, that
hardcore
mean
conservative.
Hardcore. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And what's he? What's
But
his?
you know what?
what's
They're all. That's all bullshit. Because if you're really hardcore, okay, you'd be on the streets protesting lack of slavery. You'd be protesting not stoning women. You'd be looking like ISIS. If you were absolute, okay, you're gonna go to the Bible word for word.
Oh yeah. Well,
Okay,
there's some
so
of them out
there's
there.
degrees. There's degrees and there's lines, and
Yeah.
you may be the most conservative in the United States, but you know what? They'd stone your ass.
Well, it's
back
it's
in the
kind
day.
of like getting into conversations with anybody about stuff like this. Everybody's got it seems to have absolutist views a lot of times,
Yeah.
and trying to get people off of that. You gotta. I don't know how you do that. It's one of those, and that's maybe because it's hard. It's hard, Carl. That maybe that's why people don't do
I
it.
think it's got to be stressful to be absolute view and hold on to it and feel you're under attack with other people who don't, which
Well,
is kind of what's happening here.
Yeah, I think that's
This
one of
whole
those-
this whole Christian thing now, like it's
Under
it's
attack.
against my religion to give you a marriage license. So if I work there, I'm not going to give you, and if I'm a baker,
Well, yeah,
I'm
but
not
see,
going
if
to
you're a
give you.
government employee, would you get fired
when
or
did
laid
this-
off because of your religious views, or would you get moved to the side? Yeah, somebody that's in that position has got to issue the license.
But when is this taken hold? This is, to me, is this not a new thing of I don't have to, from an entrepreneurial business standpoint, I don't have to do things that are, I don't have to serve you a cake for your wedding because you're gay. This kind of like I don't have to do business with you, even though that's what I do for a living. I can discriminate against you because I don't believe like you do, and I don't want to support your efforts to go against my beliefs.
they're just
Is that what that's,
they're just flipping the discrimination around. They're saying I'm not discriminating against you. You're discriminating against me. And so what they're doing is they're trying to flip the blame. It's not trying to. That's exactly what they're doing. They're flipping the blame. But it's the thing is, if I was getting married to somebody and I was gay, that would be a happy day. And so the last thing you want to do is throw anything contentious in it. I mean, there are plenty of people that make that do floral arrangements. There are plenty of people that do cakes. And the last thing you would want to do, I would think, unless you were just somebody who was really pushing to make a statement, is try and make somebody who didn't want to, for whatever reason, make you a cake. You just find somebody else. I mean, it's just really, literally that simple.
right.
But the people that do refuse service for people like that, the word is going to get around, and there'll be a certain segment of society that supports gay rights. It just won't
Is it gonna
won't
split into
patronize
our
your business.
businesses?
Won't patronize your business, and they will probably go out of business, or maybe not. Just depends on who they are. I really don't care. If that's what they want to do, I think that's fine. But I think the word ought to be out that that's who they are, so other people don't make the same mistake and, stumble in there and try and get them to make them a cake and be embarrassed about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it gets down to that golden rule thing again. These people were saying treat somebody the way you would want to be treated. Would you want somebody to tell you no because they didn't believe the way you did? In other words, these Christian rights, all of a sudden they could have people who own stores that are Jewish and say, I'm Jewish. I really don't believe in the Christian faith. I'm not doing business with you. Is it really that much different?
There ain't no difference.
Yeah. So, they're the ones that are starting it. I think it's a certain kind of isolationism that they already feel like they're under siege. And this is just a way of circling the wagons. And if they want to do that and circle the wagons, it's just going to make it more and more apparent who they are. And maybe that's what they want. It's always good to know where they are.
Yeah.
It completely baffles me. There's nothing about any of it that I understand.
So is this the last dying gasps of? So I saw the recent polling out 60% for gay marriage.
Yeah.
So still 40%, which is still a fairly large number. Are they gonna try to rally this like an abortion thing and really make it?
I can't imagine that they won't, because they feel, right is on their side. I can't imagine that they won't. Just what they do.
Other than this cake thing, which you kind of really got to get down to a particular business, right?
Yeah.
I guess cake, photography, any wedding-related things.
Cake, flowers.
Other than those businesses, what exactly?
Rental tux.
All right. So other than the wedding industry, and it is a large industry, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Where else are they being impacted on their religious belief with the gay thing? Could it go to restaurants? No, really.
No, are you going to feed people who are?
Because
What are you going to do? You going to ask them if they're married? Are you two boys married? Are you lovers?
Yeah.
If you're married, I'm not going to serve you. But if you're not married, I will serve you.
Yeah. How do you even play this out outside of this little cake realm?
Well, I think that's mainly around marriage right now because they're so pissed off about that.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's not how does somebody else getting married and living in a loving family affect
So what if you and I were holding hands, and in a restaurant, holding hands, making googly eyes, whatever you've seen couples do.
Yeah.
So that the waitress would come up and say, "I'm not serving you because you're obviously gay."
Well, I don't think that's ever. I don't know that that's ever happened. I think
Is that where they're going? I mean, is that where this is going? Are we moving beyond the cake, or is it just going to stay around?
I think it's just going to stay around the cake thing. I can't see people saying I'm not going to sell you, these polo shirts because you're obviously
if
gay.
you're using the argument against my moral.
Or you could say you're obviously gay. So they're making assumptions about somebody being gay.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I really don't. But I think it's starting to be more and more of a non-issue. So they're going to have to either ramp up around that or find something new.
Yeah, because I remember hearing like young people, Christian speakers, going in to talk to young people are often told, do not talk about the gay thing. Because they will not listen to anything else you have to say. So if you want to get your message of Jesus or love or whatever your thing is, fine. But if you stay away from the gay thing, because kids will, that's it. They'll completely turn you out.
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of this probably is a little bit of a last gasp. Same thing with that whole Southern tradition thing is going to stay. There's too much to try and wrap around that. But the flags probably won't be displayed as prominently, at least on government buildings. There'll probably be more of them pop up on the backs of pickup trucks or some bullshit like that. But that's again, that's kind of good to know. You kind of get a sense of who's maybe driving that pickup.
Yeah, in your local town.
Yeah. So
There does seem to be some last gasp. We talked
Yeah.
about our What a Dick Award, which we'll get into, but these church burnings that have been happening since
Yeah.
this Confederate,
and there have been several of them.
like 7 or 8 or 9,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Yeah, and this last one they said was weather, and okay, that's fine, but I haven't heard what the other ones are. There's going to be some of those that were done on purpose. There are
Some, all of them.
Well, could be all of them, and if it is, it's just not going to be good.
So.
But when are we going to find out about? I mean, how hard is that to
the Ku
figure
Klux Klan mentality that's underground in this country, I guess, is underground. So now with the Confederate flag, that's going to be the Ku Klux Klan new rallying cry.
Well, it could be, but that's
For
again,
the new, maybe coming out of the shadows.
Yeah, but
because you can't have a flag.
Again, who's going to be listening to
A
those?
flag needs to be seen to be a flag.
Yeah. Well, and they may fly it.
So
I'm
pretty
not
much
sure that they don't now.
is the Confederate flag, going to now be associated really with Ku Klux Klan?
Well, in survivalist groups, but mostly people in the South. I don't see people in, I was going to say North Dakota having the flag, but yeah, I can see that. I think it tends to be mostly a Southern thing, but I think a lot of it has to do with
Right.
survivalist groups and some other militias, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
So-
you just, I can't. The thing is, I don't want to give those people too much energy or thought because they're just,
Well,
it's like Ted Kaczynski, and there's always going to be, and Tim McVeigh and all those folks.
Right.
There's always going to be some.
Yeah.
They're always.
You're never going to
be
rid the world of extremists.
some. No, it's not going to happen. And they're going to be crazies.
The question
think
is,
all
with
kinds of-
technology and everything else, how do you deal with extremists?
I don't know. The technology is one of the things that I
in
think is
terms of
fostering it.
that could be weapon-like or could do damage.
What technology? Oh,
Yeah, in the hands of extremists.
I think it is right now.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening with ISIS. ISIS is metastasizing in other parts of the world based on their social media campaigns. There's a real good article. I think it was. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it ran this last week. There were two things that I read this last week that I really liked. This one about this young girl up in upstate Minnesota or someplace like that who was living with her grandparents, and she was kind of isolated out on a farm, and she spent a lot of time online, and somehow she started getting interested in Islam and started connecting these sites, and all of a sudden she had all these friends who she didn't have in real life online. So her online friends all tended to be Muslim extremists that were recruiting. And this whole article was about how they pulled her in, how it slowly pulled her in. Being her friend, sending her money, sending her books, being real encouraging, stuff that she wasn't getting in her normal life with her friends and family. And did you read that article? It
No.
was, oh man.
Send it to me.
Yeah, I'll
we'll put
send
it up
to
on
you.
our
I'll
show
find
notes.
It was just really good. But she was talking about how she was getting ready to fly to Syria or whatever to marry somebody, and I think her grandparents finally got wind of it and kind of forced her to give over her password and everything. And they started looking at some of the types, and then they pulled in some people and kind of pulled her back from the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, literally.
You don't go to Syria.
No, and this is not somebody from a foreign country. This is somebody that was born here. There was a white girl who lived on a farm.
Really?
Yeah, and I bet that's about as American as it gets. So that's what happened. The other article I read was about a guy who was raised in a very what he would say was a very racist family, and how it talks about his experience growing up in high school, and how he was hanging with people like this Dylan. What was it? Dylan's
Dylan
last
Roof.
Roofs, and he said how I could have become a Dylan Roof, and how he pulled back from these racists that were really
Because he was
getting
just
wrapped
hanging
up in.
around them?
Yeah, it was just people in the neighborhood, and he wanted to be accepted, and so he started acting like them. And the guy that was kind of the leader of that group, the head dude, was really a racist and was always kind of starting fights and complaining. So that was a real good thing too. And he talked about how within his own family, his parents were racist. He said. This one instance he remembers when he was a young kid, went out into a restaurant. They were standing in line to get the food, and behind him was this young black kid, and he turned around and he goes, "Look, mommy," and he used a descriptive term it's real derogatory.
Yeah.
And his mom picked him up real quick and took him outside and said, not that that's a bad word, but that's not a word that we use in public. We can use that at home.
Oh, Jesus.
So in other words, it's acceptable,
Right. Just not in public.
but not in public. It's not acceptable to let people know how you really think. And that's when he started realizing that something was wrong.
I don't know. It just seems we have a stronger issue around it than other countries. But I may be wrong. But
Well, I think it's part of that. They're trying to get something for free.
That
It's that whole
mentality?
that attitude. Yeah, they're trying to get my stuff. They're trying to get something for free. They want something without having to do anything for it. Yeah, I think that's. I think there's a lot of that's part of that thinking that it's okay to have at home, but not out in polite society. Well, this guy that wrote the book that said he came back from the abyss, as a racist. That's a lot of in that world they were talking about. Somebody's trying to come get their stuff. Somebody's trying to take over. They're trying to get our America. I love that.
which is what we're
America.
hearing. I mean, we're hearing on this gay marriage thing too,
Yeah.
right? They're coming.
To get our
This is about
business.
silencing me.
They're after our religion. Yeah, they're after yes.
Our
and
religion,
so
yes.
they're taking that same thought process and really
It's someone's trying to take something from me as opposed to someone's trying to keep me from getting.
yeah.
Those
It's
who feel
more of
like
that.
society's keeping me from getting are not the ones.
Yeah, they're taking
Doing-
they're taking something away from me. They're taking away my idea, my faith, and my religion. And it's like we talked about. When they go down this road in their religious or social beliefs so far, if you can't back out of one of them because then you start backing out of all of them. I think they're kind of it's kind of like a big game of Jenga or whatever that is, where you're pulling blocks out of it.
Oh, I've never played that. Yeah, where you take a block out and you try
yeah,
not to.
yeah. You don't want to pull that block out because if you pull that block out, that tower's coming down. It's a shaky deal. Seems
Because the
like
whole
to me.
belief system is built on
I think
a shaky deal.
Yeah, I think it's all it's all built on a false foundation of fear and
Right.
concern
That's
that
good. False foundation of
false.
fear.
Is that going to be an episode? False foundation. Am I a copywriter?
That was a little thought leadership there.
That
Michael.
was.
So if you have a foundation built on fear, you really have to protect it.
Oh yeah.
Because it is so shaky.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
in
it's
fact, what
built
you
on
build on that,
illusion.
what you build on that foundation of fear is meant to keep your thoughts and stuff in and keep everybody else out. It seems like to me, and some of that's breaking out to where it's in polite society because I think that's a lot of what the Tea Party is.
Tea Party is about.
Somebody getting what's mine,
Oh yeah, that's for
whether
sure.
it's through taxes or government programs they don't like. There's always something like that.
It just seems like I'd really like to get beyond it. There's so much more that we could be doing. Instead, we're like fighting this stuff that I feel like we should be past. Does that make sense? They just Obama right now is trying to drum up support for this overtime pay. But really, what he's trying to do is close a loophole that got created that allowed businesses there's like this battle between the way you treat employees and stuff. So there's this loophole, right, where you could be called a manager or whatever. I'm not sure I got this exactly right, but
Then you're salaried.
and then you became salaried.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
but they'd work you 60 hours.
Yeah.
So really, you were getting paid in some cases because
No.
you weren't at a very high paying threshold, like 20. You could be making
Yeah.
25,000 a year on salary.
Yeah.
And then work 60 hours a week, which should make you equivalent to,
Well, you'll find that at
Even lower
a
than
lot
minimum
of
wage.
restaurants, people, especially high-end restaurants, the waiters are making more money than the assistant managers.
right.
You know.
But I mean, so getting a promotion was
No.
not a good thing.
No, it's
Going
not
from-
necessarily a good thing at all.
So he wants to raise the level to like 50,000 or something like
Yeah.
that.
That you still get overtime. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll come up with some way to cut that back.
Yeah.
They're just that's just yet another excuse for
And
people
I understand
to not have.
that employees are a very expensive part of a business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I don't understand is doing it when that business is generating, where the CEOs or the board of directors, officers of this company are making money hand over fist, and yet have employees that are, getting yammed like this overtime thing.
It hardly
It's
seems
just
fair.
It isn't, and I'm not, and it is not creating socialism or calling socialism
Yeah.
to say, hey, Waltons, you don't get to be, 30 billion each, while your employees are at, minimum wage standard of living. That's just not right,
No, it's not right.
and there's not a law against it.
No,
So you have to raise, and the problem with raising a minimum wage or something is there's certain businesses that may be right on the line and it may cost an employee,
Yeah.
because they're not in a Walmart position. But to get Walmart to act responsibly, you have to raise the thing, which does affect some businesses that are right on the edge financially. What really should happen is there should almost be a law at the top end for the Walmarts.
I haven't heard anybody ask.
That's
talk
thought
about
leadership,
that.
Michael.
Yeah, thought
So
leadership.
the rule would be something like, your CEO cannot make more than 100 times your
Yeah.
lowest
Well,
your
I
lowest
think
paid
there was
employee.
something like that
So
in
you want to give the
Japan.
CEO a raise, you're going to give the lowest employee a
I
raise.
think there was something like that in Japan, a ratio of the highest paid to the lowest paid,
Right.
and I think that would be a really healthy thing to do.
I think it would be. So
Mm-hmm.
the CEO can still get a raise, but the lowest paid goes with him.
Yeah,
They're kind of joined at the hip
Yeah.
in a sense.
yeah.
So try to poke holes in this for me. Where am I wrong? Why would it be wrong to have some ratio level law?
I don't think there would be at all if Les Moonves wants to continue to make
50 million.
50 million, then he's got to figure out a way for everybody under him to be paid. Say
Whatever the ratio is.
whatever the ratio is. 50,000.
Right.
What's that? 1,000 to 1?
Yeah, it'd be about 1,000 to 1. I'm not
Yeah.
real good with math, but I'm thinking that's
Yeah,
about right.
something about like that. So if all of a sudden he's going to be making that kind of money, then it's 1,000 to 1. But to raise everybody else up that much more,
But here's why would be such a good thing. Okay? If everybody's making more money, the argument is, if their employees are making more money, then the cost of the goods and services are going to go up, up, up. Not realizing that there is a place to lower the ratio down so that it
Yeah.
doesn't go up, up,
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Would be one option. Everything doesn't have to stay the same, but it would be so good for the economy. People making minimum wage aren't buying goods and services.
no, they're buying just what they have to
Right.
survive, and that's
Yeah.
it.
So I don't get it would be a strong economy. It would create more businesses.
Yeah.
If everybody at CBS was making, at the lowest level, we're making 50,000
Yeah.
to maintain the 1,000 to
Yeah.
1 ratio with less moonbeams. So if you're making 50,000 a year, you're going to the dentist more often. You're
Yeah.
seeing a chiropractor. It would help lots of small businesses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're going to do
Oh, yeah.
things. There's certain businesses that they ain't never going to do because of the money you make.
you're going to buy an extra pair of running shoes,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's going to help the economy.
But
How does it help the economy? And I'm talking across the board. How does it help the economy for one guy to have $30 billion? I mean, yeah, he creates a little business around him, people that serve him.
yeah, but it's not equal to what would happen with more people making more money.
And I don't think society benefits
No.
from the situation as it is. And they say, well, that's what, the market bears, whatever.
That's the argument of capitalism.
It isn't what the market bears because it's board of directors and they all serve on each other's boards and they decide to pay.
You mean they're scratching each other's backs, Carl?
There's that element. We've
Yeah.
talked about that before.
Yeah.
Income inequality and sins of the 1%. Go check
Yeah.
out that episode.
Yeah.
One of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
I know your favorite episode is Women with Knives.
Oh, I saw it Kill Bill 2 again, or parts of it the other night. It just,
Yeah. Sweet.
and I was sitting there watching Daryl Hannah and Uma Thurman go at it with some blades, and I was going, Uma's hot. Daryl Hannah's hot.
Hey, Daryl Hannah. What's happened to Daryl Hannah? So she
I
was in
don't
Kill
know.
Bill too, huh?
She was in Kill Bill 2, yeah.
There you have it. All right, but we digress. But what are we digressing from? I don't even know if I want to continue that conversation. We
No.
can do that at Carmichael. What
Yeah.
else can we talk about? What else is going on? I can see how now as you age, you really, at some point you're going to need parts. You're going to need new parts, like knees
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. You need a salvage yard somewhere where you can go back in there and grab some
So
stuff.
they need to kind of hurry up. I know they're already kind of doing that. Really, if you think about it, we become kind of half part human, part machine already, right?
Yeah.
Hip replacement. That's a fake hip, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. So they're doing
Yeah.
that. They're doing knee replacements.
Oh, yeah.
So there's parts that are already happening.
Oh yeah. No, you can get two
We're
fake
going to go
hips
into a
and two
slow
fake knees.
thing.
I don't know.
At some point, we will be a Borg, won't we?
a board or something. Well,
We'll be kind of
the
Terminator.
but these are all mechanical parts.
Yeah. But you're going to get some things happening. What if they create like a little, I'm thinking chips.
Chips.
Put a little chip right in the back of your ear there.
Yeah.
Right? Be a good
Yeah.
place for it. Or where you just have little pick-me-ups, if you will. Or maybe you buy them.
Or just something you can touch that chip like that and it gives
Yeah.
you a quick dopamine rush.
Right.
Ooh,
Well, I'm looking at it from a capitalism standpoint. So you create these chips. So let's say you want to learn Spanish. You got a chip for that. And then you just put it. It takes a couple days for your brain to kind of
so it automatically proclaims-
meld into your brain
Yeah.
at the right place. But all of a sudden you find yourself starting to speak Spanish.
I'm not sure I want that chip.
What?
No. I don't
Come
want that
on, you
chip.
want to
No,
learn Spanish?
no,
Boom.
No.
4 days later,
No, you
a little,
skip people.
huh?
You skip people. No,
I'm just saying little chips. Like, let's say you want to learn. Okay, so now you want a career change, and you've always been interested in meteorology or whatever. Is that the correct way to pronounce that?
I don't know.
So you got a chip.
Meteorology. You want to be a weatherman?
No, the metal. Never mind. Let's say you want to be a carpenter. There's a chip for that.
Yeah.
Everything you need to know about carpentry. You put it in, and it assimilates into your brain, and now you've got. It's like new software. It's like you buy apps. It's brain apps.
Yeah.
There's some thought leadership,
Brain
Michael.
apps.
So there's some $1 million ideas.
Brain
right now.
apps.
Brain apps. Little apps that improve your brain.
Okay.
Yeah. A little memory app.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I mean,
Well, I'm saying there's
learning something new in that kind of a brain app.
That's kind of slow.
Oh, that's like snail mail. You want it instantaneous.
A little faster.
You really do believe technology is the cure-all.
I believe we're 1.0. Okay? The human body's 1.0. But let's face it. There's room for improvement here.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay? There's room for improvement.
this is the only time in the history of the world where the predator at the top of the food chain on land and sea has been one species.
We own it both ways?
We own it
We're
both.
number one. We're number
Yeah.
one. Really?
Land and sea.
Yeah, we're fishing that ocean out.
Yeah,
See, I'm not worried about technology. Personally, I think because we're so fucked up, we're going to need technology to save us. Seriously.
you think it's going to save us, not drive us over the edge where the dragons are? We're not. You don't think technology's slowly just kind of pushing us
No,
to
because
the
we're
edge?
left on our own devices, we're just fishing the hell out of the world. Oceans. That part worries me. Climate change, the death of bees, the fishing out the oceans, the extinction of animals.
But how is technology going to help with any of
Because
that
we're going to
stuff?
take that little DNA and then we're going to create zebra farms and
Zebra farms,
lion farms. We're going to have to.
kind of like we have.
We took it away. We're going to give it back.
Kind of like we have super strains of wheat
Yeah, be
that
non-GMO
don't have
lions.
don't have any taste anymore, no resemblance whatsoever to the
Okay.
real thing.
Yeah, but you're saying technology can be used for good and evil, Michael.
It has.
Yes. So it can be used for good too.
Yes. We just hope that the good part.
Yeah, beats the evil part.
Yeah.
It's been a battle.
It has been about.
All right, so we've talked about a lot of things. What a Dick Award for this week. Anything from our conversation pop out at you on the What a Dick Award?
Well, no, but I'll. The only what a dick is that I was watching TV the other day, and I was watching CNN's got a series called The 70s, and this episode of The 70s was about the Nixon administration, and so I was watching that, and I was going, that guy was such an embarrassment and such a dick. And then wasn't just him; it was all the people around him. And I'm sitting there watching these flashes from early 70s, and I'm remembering I watched that stuff. And
But that's a What a Dick Hall of Fame.
oh,
See.
woo, yeah,
Dick Nixon belongs in the What a Dick Hall of
Yeah.
Fame, right?
yeah. So really, as far as this week, I would say no. I haven't stumbled on anybody that's just like really slapped me across the head and going, God,
I'm thinking because we just talked about some things today that in my head I thought that would be a good What a Dick,
Yeah.
and now I blanked it.
you blanket.
See, I need a brain chip.
You need a brain
Little-
chip.
yeah.
Is a brain chip going to make you more of a morning person?
If there's a chip for that, I'd be.
It depends
checking
on
that
how
out.
you want to
Yeah.
program it, right?
Yeah. So you're gonna have flexibility on where you want to go with that. And let's face it, right now we don't have any brain chips.
No, there are no
possible.
brain chips.
How about like a personality chip?
Oh, that would be
So you're
good.
gonna go to a party and you want a little bit more outgoing.
You just dial it up.
You just dial it up. Yeah. How about some adjustability in your brain?
But is that the real you or is that the chip you?
Well, let's say even there's not a chip. Maybe it's just a knob.
And
You just
so we're
up
now
your
going-
social. You're up your social. It's kind of like the Apple Watch. You kind of
so
up your
you just
social-
went from digital to analog. You got a little knob behind your ear.
Who's
You
gonna say a
turn,
knob?
tune it in.
Just turn it up the social fun. Whoops, what? Past Will Ferrell. Dial it back.
Back. It's kind of like those little rolling guides you got in the airplane. So you're kind of going
Yeah,
tick,
yeah,
tick,
yeah,
tick, tick,
yeah,
tick.
yeah. I don't know.
Well,
We've done it again. Another episode of Carl and Mike that explores
stuff.
everything from brain chips to lightness and dark to discrimination. You get it all here at Carl and Mike. And we hope you've enjoyed it.
We haven't had any sex lately. We have to.
We need to have a sex conversation.
No, we didn't have. Well, I don't have anything, but we'll have to.
Well,
I'll have to.
There's the conversation
There
right
you
there.
go. Yeah, we'll have to hunt some
We've
stuff
been doing
up.
more politics and religion lately.
Yeah.
Okay, America. Well, we haven't
Send
done
us
one
your
since
sex
Sex in the
stories,
Box. Really?
No.
We need another.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, tune in, Carl and Mike, carlmike.net. Our video podcast, 5 Questions in 5 Minutes with Carl Mike, doing fabulous.
It is.
We're
Where
still
are we
rocking
now?
it out. We're number 1 yesterday on iTunes, new and noteworthy.
Really? We were.
So check us out. Just go to iTunes.
So thanks for.
Click on the
downloading.
videos, and then we're right there.
Yep.
One of the top videos in the country. So do check it out. We're over at search iTunes for it, or go to Podbean, carlandmike.podbean.com. And you can get all the videos you want of Carl and Mike, because you want to see these faces in action.
Yeah.
Which
You
is one
absolutely
thing missing
do.
from
Yes.
this episode. And, all right. Any final thoughts before we check it out?
No, I'm thought free.
There you are, another hour of thought-free listening.
Yeah.
Carl and Mike.
That would be it. I like it.
I like that.
Yeah, thought free listening. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Peace.
Out.